Mom. 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 Mama. Mama. Mama.
Okay, guys, you know what? Mama needs a timeout.
Hey guys, it's Nic and Lex, and we're back for our 5th episode.
Yay!
I know, I feel accomplished. What about you, Lex?
Sure.
Always the one to keep
sorry.
it going. So, no, I'm super excited.
No, I am super excited too.
I can't believe we've done 5 episodes already.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, you have
I
that
know.
little faith in us.
A little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I guess the big thing is like have people listen to our 5 episodes.
Yes,
Not necessarily
exactly.
we have recorded us talking on and on for 5 episodes.
I know this is shooting way ahead, but once we maybe 20.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna, I will celebrate.
Hopefully our first guest, so that we should be coming up with that soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So
Can't
we
wait
got
for
a few things cooking on that, so don't think it's going to end at the 5th episode.
No.
We got more to give, guys.
And don't think you're just going to be listening to us the entire time. We will have other people on here, I promise.
So, let's get started on this week's episode. But before, because we always seem to forget this,
crap.
Let's do highs and lows.
Okay.
What was your high and low for the week?
It's my low for the week. So we went grocery shopping. And we go and we buy, and actually no, I lie. We didn't even go grocery shopping. We went on just a nice little trip to Walmart. It was like a date, I guess. And we go and we just buy a whole bunch of stuff, junk, basically. About $100 worth. We get to the checkout line. We're all, having fun, happy, whatever. There's a couple behind us. I go to pay, and I realize I don't have the correct debit card.
Ouch.
I have the debit card that's used for other types of purchases, not this one. So I'm kind of freaking out because I know that the debit card I have is probably low on funds.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, ah! And the couple that's waiting behind us, they're not just like any couple. They have a newborn baby with them.
Ooh, so they hate you.
They
basically.
are just giving me the stink eye big time. I feel so bad. It's just one of those moments where you get hot, like up and down your neck, and oh my god, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, the husband looked at me and he was like, that's okay. But you could tell he just wanted to stab me in the neck. And the wife is there with the little tiny baby.
Aww.
Oh my god. And it looked like they had just, this is probably the first time she'd been out of the house since she had the baby.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, you know what? I just,
Yeah.
Swipe the card, it goes through. I'm like, yes! There was enough money! So we get to the car, I check my banking account right away, and no, it's gone overdrawn, which has not happened in such a long time, and that just, threw me for a loop. And, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. We've bounced back from that, of course. But just that feeling when you're in line
that
and
achy,
yes, I hate that. Anytime I'm holding up a line, I just, I get so anxiety. So that was my low.
Yeah.
But then, and that's right, part of my low, because you know me, I'm a little woo-woo sometimes. My first thought was, okay, universe, I know what you're doing. I feel like the universe was telling me that's what you get for spending your money on crap. I don't know, I'm weird. I just feel like the universe was trying to give me a sign. So I told my husband that, and he's just like, whatever. He doesn't believe in that. So then that kind of ties into my high for the week. My husband, I've been trying to get him, Big Daddy, I've been trying to get him to do, he works out, but he does a lot of weightlifting. And I've been trying to get him to do something more, basically yoga. I mean, yoga. I've been trying to get him to do yoga.
Yeah, I see it on the little daily over there now.
Yes, exactly. So he ended up texting me one day at work telling me I did DDP yoga, which I don't know if that's real yoga.
Diamond Dallas Page
yes,
yoga.
Diamond Dallas Page yoga. And I said, really? And he said he was listening to the Stone Cold
Steve Austin
Creamery. What is it?
Okay, so now we're just combining two different things.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, is that right?
Podcast.
Yes. And apparently he had Diamond Dallas Page, and Diamond Dallas Page, of course, started promoting his Diamond Dallas or DDP yoga. So because of that, my husband did yoga, which is fine. But my husband told me, I guess the universe was sending me a sign.
Aww.
I was so happy. I was like, yay.
And just a side note, shout out to Big Daddy, because he's lost, 70?
I don't even know.
Like, a lot of freaking weight.
Yeah.
It's very much inspirational.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It's a little annoying sometimes.
It's super annoying, but because dudes can just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose weight."
He actually works really hard.
Yes,
he works really hard.
But dudes, they're
do.
just like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose weight now," and then it's like they work at it. Like, he's lost this weight in 6 months.
Oh yeah.
6,
and then he complains
8
because right
months.
now he's plateauing and he's not losing weight.
Yeah,
so that's where the annoyance comes in.
Whereas a woman, for me, I'm like, I lost 5 pounds. Oh, I just stopped my period. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, but I looked at that brownie, so now I gained 20 back.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But yeah, so that was my high and the low for the week, both involving the universe.
Oh, awesome.
And then signs.
That's really cool.
So you?
Okay, so I kind of have 2 highs and 2 lows.
Whoa.
Or 1 low, I should say. I can't really say 2 lows.
Okay.
My first high is that we have Big B back at home with us.
Woo!
I've missed him tremendously. I love him so much. I'm glad to have him back.
You say that so convincingly.
I mean, I do. Like, deep down, I do. He's my child, the fruit of my loins, my firstborn. Like, he's my mini-me. Where little B is Mr. D's mini-me,
Oh,
this is my mini-me, which leads into my low, which I'll speak of later. My second high is that my mother-in-law, for those that have listened to previous podcasts, went to her checkup with her cardiologist, and everything looks good. And her heart, the blockage in her heart is not at a point where they'll need to do surgical intervention.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to maintain it with medicine.
That's awesome.
And so we are able to, we have everything managed, and we're able to continue from there. So I'm very excited because she's important to me. She's a very important person in my life.
Of course, yeah.
I'm glad everything worked out okay.
I am too. I really am. I know that was a big,
It kind
concern.
Of,
not even concern. I don't even know what the word is.
It was a big situation for us. You know, it kind of sideswiped us this summer and took a lot out of us.
Yeah, it came out of the blue, didn't it?
It really did. It kind of was just like, oh, hey, by the way. And it's like, let's get on it. So, very happy. My mother-in-law's doing good. My son's back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy. But the low is my son's back.
Well, thank you for being honest. I appreciate that.
Of course. Like, we've already been in 3 fights already. Like, I literally called him the other day.
When did he get back?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's just him kind of getting adjusted to being back to with us and not being the center of attention as he was when he was with his Gigi and his Boompa. And
who wouldn't want to be with Gigi and Boompa? I want to go be with Gigi and Boompa.
I mean, look, I went to pick him up from Gigi and Boompa's, and it was fantastic. And then I had to come back to the harsh reality of which is adult life. I was telling Lex that I was listening to another podcast, which I want to shout out, Armchair Commander with Dax Shepard.
Yeah,
Love
that's a good one.
Really good one. And he actually, his first Experts on Expert podcast with a renowned child psychologist who I cannot remember the name, but we will include it in the show notes. But basically, she was saying that kids very much emulate the relationships of their parents when they get older. And that a lot of kids will see their parents fighting, however, they don't see the resolution of those fights. They just see, oh, mom and dad are fighting again. And typically the adults go off and they'll resolve, later on.
Behind closed doors. Yeah.
Exactly.
After the kids are asleep.
Exactly. And that really rang true to me. So it's basically, she was saying that they never see people, they can see conflict, but they never see that there's a resolution.
Yeah.
So through this conflicting time this last week and a half with Big B, I've made sure that every time we've gotten into butting head situation or in a situation where I've had to punish him, I make sure that I go back and I let him know, 1, that I love him unconditionally no matter what. 2, you were being kind of a jerk and this is kind of why. And 3, it's okay for you to be upset,
Yeah.
and you can tell me you're upset, but it's not okay for you to act out and to be rude or mean or do extra with it,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm trying to teach him how to resolve situations, even
That's
though...
good. That's really good.
Yeah. So I'm glad he's back, but the downside is going through that adjustment period.
Shoot, I don't
Yeah.
blame you. God.
Well,
So what's on the agenda for today?
so episode 5, I feel like it's like when you sing about the 12 days of Christmas and you know how they go like hardcore on the 5 golden
Day of
rings?
Christmas.
Yeah, I feel like, ah, like that's what I feel like. So on today's episode,
5
I know.
golden rings.
something like that, we're talking about my first love, at least,
Oh God.
working 9 to 5. Or, sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, 9 to 5.
Well, first of all, it's 8 o'clock for
As
us,
much as
so-
I love Dolly Parton,
I know.
I'm like, where did she work that she's working 9 to 5?
I really don't understand that. And still get an
Where
hour
can I get?
lunch.
Yeah, does that? Yeah, exactly.
So that cuts it down to
Jeez.
6 hours a day.
Really? Oh my
Well,
God.
you know,
Wait,
I spend 40 hours a week. That's more time than I do with my family.
you probably spend more than 40 hours a week at work.
I don't
I think
need
I
to
do.
nitpick on that. We don't need to give evidence to Mr. D on how much I spend at work. But
Sorry.
however, you know, working for me has always been an importance that has been laid down by my biological father. So my background a little bit, I have my mom and my dad. My dad passed away about 14 years ago. However, over 20 years ago, my mom remarried to my stepdad, who I call my dad because basically he was there since I was 7 years old. I was very lucky to have both of my parents in my life. I mean, all of my parents in my life. So I know it can be confusing, especially to our listeners, when I say my dad. I am actually talking about my stepdad, but I don't ever
Yeah.
feel as if he's my stepdad. He's earned
like
the
a
right.
second. Yeah.
He's earned the right to be my father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he does not see me as anything less than his child, and I respect him enough for that. And him and my dad were actually really good friends, so that's kind of where we go from there. However, both of my dads instilled in me a strong work ethic. My biological father would say, nobody will take care of you but you. And both of them had mothers that had to rely on men to be taken care of or to support them,
Interesting.
and eventually got screwed over by those men. And both of my fathers saw the struggles that their mothers had to go to support them, not only themselves individually, but their children. And they never wanted that for me. And me being the firstborn, they put a lot of expectation and responsibility. So I turned to working at a very young age and was kind of pushed to be more of a worker bee. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I am. I love money. Money will support me. Nobody's going to support me but me. And that's why I've always turned to work. And I found, and it's kind of been damaging in a way, because I've always found my self-esteem through my working. And when I went through my downfall a few years ago after baby B was born, you know, I was in a place where I wasn't working. So all this time and energy that I had focused on working and my job and what needed to be done, it was gone. And I really had to start looking at myself, and that's when my brain couldn't handle it. So
Yep, I've been there.
Yeah.
That sucks.
yeah.
It's like, if I'm not working, what
What am I?
am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so weird. Oh.
Okay, so that kind of leads into my next question, or my first question, I should say. Tell us a little bit about your work history. What's your resume? What's your, what's your background?
It could have been all over the place. So I started working at the age of 16. That's when I got my first job as a waitress. And I loved it. It sucked, but I loved taking home $50 to $70, you know, in cash every day. I just thought that was so much. Oh my gosh. But so that was my first job, waitress. After that, I went to college for a couple of years, or maybe just 1 year without working. And then I got a job in fast food. That job didn't like so much, but
you met Big Daddy.
I met Big Daddy in college.
Oh. Sorry.
Not really. Technically, we were both going to college at the time, but yeah, we really met at a fast food restaurant working together, which is, that'll probably be another story. How did we meet our husbands? Yeah, so then after that, I was like, I can't do this. I want to do something that's in my field of passion. So then from there, I moved on to being a kennel tech. I love animals, but my husband, not so much, loves animals.
Well, because he's allergic.
Sure. Yeah, but so yeah, I was always like the vet of the neighborhood, I guess. People would bring me their stray cats, dogs, ducks, possums, iguanas, ferrets. Ugh. I was one of those people. So yeah, for about 2 years, I worked as a kennel tech at a pet store. And I loved it. I still to this day dream of that job. It was such an awesome job. Yeah, cleaning out the hamster tanks.
You know what though?
Iguana tanks.
Because I was a vet tech.
Okay. See?
And there
it's
are
a
things
rewarding job. Yeah.
But at the same time, there were a lot of sad moments to that, for me at least. Well,
no, and mine did too. Because so I worked for a pet store. I would not doubt that some of these puppies came from puppy mills, which I didn't know about back then. Now I'm just like, kind of looking back. But you know what? The way I see it, I gave those puppies the best care I could, for the time that I took care of them. So I loved that job. And I ended up getting a puppy from from there. So my dog, who's now, 13, 14 years old, she was my first child. So anyway, $8.50 an hour was not paying the bills, especially living in.
Yeah.
So from there, I ended up going to. I don't even know how I got this job, but I ended up going into a job in the printing and promotional industry, which paid really good money. That is kind of a jump. It really was. I guess I just got lucky.
You were hot.
I was a project coordinator for something. I can't remember. It was totally out of my alley, but it paid really good money. So that job was awesome. But the company went bankrupt. But then I got picked up by another printing and promotional company. I was there for about a year and a half. Ended up getting laid off from that job as well, which led to our move back down to the little quaint town that we live in now. Got my foot in the door at our current place of work, and now I've been there for 8 years.
That's amazing.
I know, it really is. But I think part of it is, no. Actually, I was thinking about it the other day. I literally cannot imagine doing anything else other than what I'm currently doing. What you fell into? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so your job history?
All right. So my stepdad was in the Navy, so we moved to Puerto Rico when I was younger. During that time, my mom actually started volunteering at the Red Cross and somehow became the director. Cool. And so I actually got my certification for babysitting. Well, because we were in Puerto Rico, I was one of the main options for babysitting there around the base. So I actually racked up like $200 just babysitting kids, right? And when I came back to the States to be with my real dad for the summer, I was like, oh crap, I have money. Like I can go and buy things and do what I want to do. So that was my first introduction, really. And that's when I was about 12. But that being said, just early on babysitting, and then when I was old enough to get a job on my own, I worked in fast food. It was called My Favorite Muffin, which I know sounds amazing because it was.
Oh God.
And I worked there for about 6 months, and then my friend his dad was a veterinarian, and he was like, no, we really want you. And I said, okay, well, I'll do that. So I went with the vet tech position. That only lasted about 6 months, but then I went to school off and on. I was a student worker. And then my dad passed away, and I was the oldest, and so I'm thrown into a mortgage and dealing with an estate, and kind of, I'm thrown into adulthood pretty quickly, basically. Mm-hmm. My dad didn't have a will, so it was me going to court and becoming the executor, and I was like, oh crap, I have a mortgage, I need to start making money. So my boyfriend at the time's mother worked at the university in the town, and I started off temporarily in a department that she was connected to, and eventually the director hired me on with a little push of my boyfriend's mother. And I worked there. I started off there in enrollment management. I was there for about 3 years. And it was hell. I mean, I worked financial aid, and it was. I liked it, but I didn't, because it was very structured, very black and white, very regulatory. And I'm very much a creative person, and I like having that. I don't like gray area. I do like structure, but at the same time, I like to be able to create. So after 3.5 years, I got a position back at the community college I went to, at their financial aid office. And then it had gotten to the point where I was like, oh crap, I need to finish my degree. I had broken up with my boyfriend at the time, who I was with for 10 years. And I was just like, I need to finish my degree. I need to focus on myself. During that time, I'd met my now husband. And I was planning, before I met him, I was actually planning to move out of state with my parents, because they had recently moved out of state. And so I was like, I want to move out of state. I want to be with him. But then I met my husband, and I was like, no, I think this is really something. So I actually moved to our little quaint town, which had a university that had a degree program that I was wanting to finish in. I was like, you know what, this may be the best bet, which eventually it was. It was, because, now I'm married to my husband for almost 10 years and have my 2 beautiful children and, my life now, even though I still am working on finishing that damn degree. So I started going to school here, realized that poor does not look good on me, and I decided I needed to get back to work. Found a part-time job, and that's actually where I met Lex at, because it was in the same building. Eventually, it became a full-time position. My studies got pushed back. Then I got pregnant, and then I moved on to the job in the big city. That was an amazing experience. But then I got pregnant with little B number 2. I had to move back, and then I got the job that I currently have now in education abroad, which I honestly love. It takes everything that I've learned in my past experiences and kind of ties it all together, where I get the program coordination from what I did with continuing education and my other position. And then it also brings in kind of those structure from financial aid. And, I enjoy what I do in higher education, and I do see myself continuing my career path as well as my education, focusing on this. So, yeah. All right, so that's a little bit about my work history and yours. So I guess our next question is, what are some of the hard knocks you've taken while growing your career?
God.
I know, right?
Where do you get these questions from? Jeez.
My mind.
Hard knocks. Growing career? See, the term growing career does not...
I mean, but you don't realize it.
I know. I guess I don't
mean?
see it that way. You know me. And we have this conversation every day. We just did this earlier today. I'm like, the words you're speaking don't...
Yes.
I'm a very flowy English type person. It's not basic. They're $15 words. That's what I call them.
Really?
Yes.
They're technically
$2.99,
but then I up them until when they're $15.
You used promotional.
Literally,
I don't know what.
I used promotion. And
yes,
platform.
and I shut down. I guess I'm a very go with the flow type person. I just kind of feel like I go where the wind takes me. So
yeah.
I've never had. I mean, I guess when you say growing your career, I don't feel like I ever actually grew my career.
It just kind of developed organically.
Yeah. See? You're so good with words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. So of course I did take some hard knocks. And we've spoken about this before. We had a director who was not maybe because she wasn't a parent, she wasn't as
empathetic.
Not nearly, as empathetic as our current one.
And I think she was also very career driven. So she didn't understand. But for me, where I think one of the reasons I may have had the better relationship with that person is because I am a very career-driven person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it was like speaking my language. Yeah. It was like, oh, you're right. Why wouldn't I
come in on
they can feed themselves.
And not that no, I guess I'm not. I'm not a different person. I do love to work, and I've said that before. I'm a worker bee. Yeah. Tell me what to do, and I can do it. But I don't believe in the grind, the hustle.
But you know what?
guess.
I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, you told me that. Thank you.
No, I really do. Because, like, just like this little podcast here,
Mm-hmm.
at first you were very resistant.
Yes.
And I tried to
I
explain
was.
to you time and time again, this is going to be amazing.
This
it's
is
going to
way
be
out of my
awesome.
comfort zone.
Like, this is what we need to do. Like, I really had to talk you into it. But then when we started doing
You
it...
have that drive. I think that's the thing.
I have the vision and the drive.
Yes.
I don't necessarily always have the implementation.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where you complement me, where I can lead us where we need to go, and
Yeah.
I see where we're going, but you kind of jump in and say, let me take care of this,
Am I
this,
a
and
shrimp?
this. I didn't want to say that word. I'm just saying.
So, if you have, if, and I know we're speaking to a bunch of moms here, so I'm sure you have. Finding Nemo,
Oh, God.
the shrimp,
Look.
the shrimp in the that cleans the aquarium.
tank
Apparently, that
doesn't clean itself. And sometimes you need those little tank cleaners.
Thanks. So I'm the shrimp. No, I really am, though. I'm the shrimp. I'm the worker bee. Because now, at this point in my career, I guess, I'm not just the shrimp and just the worker bee.
Yeah, you've grown beyond that.
I know that, which I'm like, why am I here? I don't like to be the face of anything. I like to be the man behind the curtain. That's what I like to be.
I think that's where we can identify, though, too, because I really don't like being the face. As much as you say I do like being the face. I honestly, I don't, though.
We go out and you know everybody and you say hi to everybody. You notice
that's
people.
different.
You notice people from across, like
That's different.
like 2 blocks away. And
Noticing,
I'm just like,
being a human being
that's
is
not
different.
human. I don't know. I notice.
No,
I don't know.
literally. Yeah,
Anyway.
I've walked by her in the grocery store,
Yeah.
and she's never even.
She's literally
acknowledged me.
walked by me. I hear I'm a very audio person. It's really weird. So if somebody passes by me and I hear their voice, I will perk up. I get it. But
no, literally,
faces,
I've said her voice, and she's never.
No.
Yeah, I've said things.
Oh,
and
then
you've
I was
never
probably
heard
ignoring
me.
you.
Yeah.
But I probably didn't know it was you.
No, you didn't.
There you go.
But I don't take the time out because I know that's how you are. I don't even take the time out to be
say
like,
anything.
Lex. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
her.
that's her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so Hard Knocks. You know what? Working with people.
Yes. Managing.
If I
people.
could just, yeah, exactly. Managing people. If I could just have a job where I could be in my computer, on a computer in my pajamas all day, I would be golden. But yeah, managing people I think is the hardest part of my job, which doesn't really say much because I have an amazing, awesome team that I work with. So
You really do.
I really do. But that being said, they are people. We're all human. We're all regular people. So one of the, of course, other than Brooke Castillo, for my own mind work and stuff, thought work, the Life Coaching School podcast with Brooke Castillo. Amazing for anyone who wants to do thought work on their own. That I can't recommend her enough, and I swear one of these days I will get training with her, coached by her. But another resource that I highly, highly recommend, and I wish I'd read it years ago because I feel like it would have impacted my life. And I know you're sick of hearing me say this, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh, God.
I know. It is such a good book. And I don't, in all honesty, I don't remember all 7 habits, but the one that I always remember off the top of my head that I try to remind myself of every day is start with the end in mind. Something like that. Start with the end in mind. And then there's an analogy he uses in his book, something about which I'm going to totally butcher this book, but he uses an analogy of you feel like you're headed in the right direction, but rather than just climbing the ladder, you really need to make sure that you're standing your ladder against the correct wall.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen to me so many times.
Yeah.
You're hustling and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing, and then you realize that your ladder is leaned against the wrong wall. You're headed in the completely wrong direction. The first one I'm not a big fan of, but I know you will be. First habit, be proactive.
Woo!
Yeah, that's your thing.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just like, go with the flow.
You are, but I think...
I get,
But I
think
can see where being proactive can be also limiting as well.
Yeah.
Because those people that we work with that are retroactive have pulled me back a bit to be able to take it when it comes versus being always trying to be ahead of
yes,
things.
exactly. And I think that's the thing. It's a balance. It's a there's a fine balance between being proactive and trying to get ahead of the game.
Yes.
and trying to get ahead of the game. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but again, it kind of leads back to that analogy of making sure your ladder is leaning against the correct wall.
Yeah.
Say there's a burning building and you're trying to save somebody from that burning building. If you have your ladder leaning against the wrong building, that person's going to die. So, anyway.
Good analogy.
But, right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, habit number 1, be proactive. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. My favorite. I try to think of that every single day. Habit 3, put first things first. Habit 4, think win-win. That's the habit that really helps me in managing people, I guess. And I hate to even say managing people because I don't.
No, you do.
Yeah. Well, yes. I guess managing people makes it sound like I tell them what to do, or I tell them,
No, but managing people is beyond telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Managing people is guiding them.
Yeah.
Managing people is leading them.
Okay.
You're not just out there telling them, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 blah. You're like, let me show you what needs to be done.
Oh, habit number 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. That one was huge for me. And
Really?
I think, yes, it's hard. It's hard to, you want to get your point across. You want to make sure that these people know what you're thinking and what you want and da-da-da.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people, they just really want to be heard.
No,
and
I
so,
agree.
yeah. And it's like, I always knew that with our clients, but I've never thought of it with our coworkers, employees, bosses.
Yeah. I get it, yeah.
And then habit number 6 is synergize. I really want to go back and reread this book.
synergy a bit again?
Synergy?
Yeah.
It's basically working together to create something better than what you could have done on your own.
Like in a meeting when you
No.
come together and
Ew.
you talk about.
No. So yes, 7 habits of highly effective people. If you work with people, if you interact with people.
That's like life.
Yeah, exactly. 7 habits of highly effective people. Cannot recommend it enough. It is amazing. What about you? What are some of your hard knocks?
I think my ego.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Boom. Yeah.
Holy crap. That's big.
I've been reflecting a lot on my time
Look at you.
my previous position and just realizing that maybe my ego led me in directions that now I probably wouldn't have taken. Because I'm looking back at my previous management style and I'm realizing like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, maybe that was a little too far. Or maybe this didn't jive as well as... And the moment I thought everything was copacetic, but it was like now looking back...
There's your $15 words right there.
Oh my God. Like, but honestly, like, just reevaluating myself at a point.
But see, that's really cool because you did get results.
Oh, for sure.
You got good results. So it is very humble of you for you to take a step back and still wonder, was that the best way?
Yeah, because it's not necessarily because my work was on point. It was more of how was I as a leader? How was I as somebody that was to mold these individuals into where they are? And let me tell you, some of them have done amazing. Some of them have gone on and gotten, amazing jobs, and they've done really great for themselves and really just flourished,
I think most of them have.
Most of them, yeah. But then there's some of them that those ones that kind of fell off the wagon, so to speak. You think, was I too close to this person on a personal level? Did it blend for me being with them versus being a boss? I had a staff meeting today and I said, look, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do, but this is where I need you all to step up. But I need to make sure that you are at the level to be able to step up to there. So tell me what you need from me.
That's awesome.
I'm very much, I guess the hardest knocks for me is realizing that, one, coworkers are not necessarily your friends.
Oh, yeah. That is hard.
And it's a hard knock, because as adults, who do we meet?
Yeah.
I don't, go out and just meet people as easily as what I did before.
Yeah.
Like, the people I work with,
I don't go out, period.
Yeah, I adopted you, so, I mean, you're
You
basically one of my only friends.
That's really sad.
I am your only friend.
Yeah, it's true. You are my only friend.
I said one of my only
but
friends.
I'm an introvert, so, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we don't hang the way we used to, you
No.
know? And I think that's a big thing for me, too, is realizing the way things were in the past aren't necessarily how they are now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, so I guess some of my hard knocks really have been learning...
I really like that ego. Man, that's...
Learning my ego and learning how to calm my ego and realizing that my work doesn't validate who I am, but at the same time, I am affecting these people, and how am I positively affecting them?
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Another question. What lessons have you learned in balancing your work with family life?
Actually, I think I have an answer.
Oh.
I actually just heard something that really resonated with me. You know me and my audiobooks, like
Yeah.
I listen to like 2 audiobooks a week. I'm
I
addicted
feel like
to them.
we literally need sponsors for these things that we're doing. Hint, hint.
Audible. Seriously, I honestly listen to like 2 a week. I am addicted to audiobooks. I love it. And podcasts.
Yeah, I love podcasts.
I recently heard this quote. Don't strive for balance. Instead, strive for harmony.
Oh,
I
like
know.
that.
I love it because to me, when I think of harmony, I guess, you know, I used to be in choir and glee club and all those dorky things back in high school.
Oh my God, you were.
But when I think of harmony, it's sometimes your work life and your personal life or your family life, they do intersect.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
And as long as they're not off key, I guess, to kind of keep going with the music term, then that's good. You know, strive for harmony instead of balance.
I get it, yeah.
So, yeah. And I mean, you probably have to do that.
When I know there is work to be done, that is my 100% dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I'm getting my money from.
Yeah.
But what I've realized is I'm earning that same amount of money if I put 110% or if I put 75%.
Mm-hmm.
Me going above and beyond every single day was hurting my personal life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my personal life is what I can never get back.
Yeah.
Those are the moments when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to think about how many hours I put in or how many...
You need to read this book.
What did my sons think of me? What did my husband think of me? Those are the things that are going to be beneficial to me in the long run. And balancing my work life and my family life has been a real struggle. And I really feel at this point I'm being better. At least with reducing my attention to my work life. Not saying that I don't give 100% while I'm at work, because I do. I don't think about work constantly.
Yeah.
I actually, when I'm home, and I try to put that into my kids and my husband.
That's good.
What I am working on, though, is focusing on myself. Because what I'm doing is putting another priority above myself. And I don't know if it'll ever be at the point where I put myself first above everything. But at the same time, I'm learning how to balance. And I agree that balancing maybe not the harmonizing everything, because there are going to be times where work is priority. Like right now is my busy season with, you know, trips going out and faculty needing me 24 hours of the day. So I am going to have to pay more attention. However, our last trip just came back. So now it's like, okay, I don't need to be in my work emails anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to be accessible 24/7 to the job. Now it's me being accessible 24/7 to my husband and then my children.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And then school is starting up. So.
Yeah. You know, getting back in that grind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just kind of...
Harmonizing's
a good,
I need to, you know what, for the show notes, I will find out who said that, by the way, because I can't remember off the top of my head now, but that really stuck with me. Don't strive for balance, strive for harmony. And I was like, yes, That makes so much sense.
I love it.
Mhm.
I really do.
Yeah.
So, our final question. Why do you like working? I feel like we've kind of explored that through all of our other topics, but...
Well, I mean, like I mentioned, I love working because of my staff that I have, or my coworkers, my boss.
But you loved your job before you even had a staff in that job.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
okay.
But even
maybe,
then, I've always had good people.
Yeah, you have.
So, I think part of it is just kind of feeling like you're part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too. I guess in my job, it's very service-oriented. So,
It is.
As much of a pain as it can be sometimes, there are, those moments where you've helped somebody and, I mean, you feel like you've changed their life, and that's always a really good thing.
I totally understand what you're saying. Like, I get it.
So you?
I think why I love to work is just because, one, and this is probably very unhealthy, it's been instilled in me at a very young age.
Oh, that's not unhealthy. That's good.
No, it is good. It is good.
Okay.
So, I had a very strong female role model, which was my mother growing up, and still do. And so that really influenced me and showed that having a man be damned, on top of, having two fathers figures that were like, you don't need a man and we're going to teach you everything you need to know. My poor husband.
I know, really.
So I've always loved working because it was validation of myself. And two, we work with students. And when you get those students that you've helped.
Yes.
And
You've
changed
changed their life. Oh my gosh, that's the best.
That hands over dollars, I mean, you can't compare.
We call them SpongeBob moments.
Mm-hmm. Sounded more like a dolphin, but okay.
we say that. I had a SpongeBob moment today where you get so happy because you help somebody rather than being the Squidward, just like, oh, what do you want again?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so much easier to push myself into work because I get that instant gratification. Where at home,
you get paid and you get thanks.
Exactly. At home,
you get nothing.
Like
maybe a hug.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're lucky.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, okay. But honestly, I love working. I'm glad I chose to be a working parent. I understand there's people out there that don't get those opportunities to do so, or they have chosen to stay at home, which is, I commend them completely because that is just not my way of being. I don't know how to.
I don't know how to do it.
I really don't.
And I tell them that too.
Exactly. My sister and my sister-in-law are both stay-at-home mothers, and I am in awe of them at times because they are just amazing women. And I just,
I'm like, how do you deal?
Yeah.
How do you?
Yeah.
How?
You know what freaks me out?
What?
Like, do they know what day of the week it is? Like, I know they know because, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I'm like, that's my biggest thing. Like, does the TV tell you what the day is, or do you not know? Because literally you stayed in pajamas all day, so I don't know if you realize it's not a weekend.
And you know what?
Does that affect them?
Moms who stay home and actually keep a schedule.
Yeah.
Because when I was a stay-at-home mom, I said I was going to have a schedule. No. I just, I felt I would go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 9, or whenever the baby woke me up.
Yeah, I see where we are kind of jilted in that because we both were dealing with infants.
Oh, you're saying we had to be on their schedule. But no, I know people who make schedules. Like, they have their infants on schedules.
Yeah.
And that, I'm just like, how do you do that? Like, I can't even keep myself on a schedule, so how am I supposed to keep my
work
infant?
Keeps me on that schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Whether I want to be there or not. And even with work, I'm not always on schedule.
We're the lazy ones.
That's what I mean, exactly. And I think that's where work provides validation. Let's just be straight up honest.
Yeah, for sure.
It does. It provides us with, or I can't say us. It provides me with a certain kind of validation that I just don't get at home all the time. Okay, good. I'm not the only one.
No.
I sound horrible.
Somebody actually freaking appreciates me.
Yeah. Even our boss, even our coworker, just yeah, we get thanked.
Yeah.
We get, just,
I get breakfast tacos.
yeah, donuts, coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you get a certain type of validation at work. And of course, it depends on who you work with and where you work and all that. I know all jobs are not equal. We're pretty lucky, but
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
you know,
very true. I
yeah.
was just thinking about that. Very true.
it's true, yeah. But for the most part, you get a certain kind of validation at work that you do not get in your personal life.
So, I think that's kind of it for me, like, with the work, life.
Why you love work?
And, yeah, I do.
/like.
I do love work. I really think it helps. I don't want to say that's where I identify is through work, but it is something that identifies me. It's part of me. I like work. I'm
good.
never going to feel ashamed for liking working,
Yeah, no, I don't think it's something to feel ashamed of, period.
I think it's a balance for everybody, if even you're a stay-at-home mom, because I know that has a lot of work as well. Or I don't even want to say stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home parent, because, again, moms aren't the only ones that can stay at home. So
how do stay-at-home parents balance?
Ooh.
Is that even a possibility?
Yeah.
I would love for somebody to write in, because that was one thing.
Yeah,
That's
guys.
hard.
For our followers that
even
are stay-at-home parents,
Yeah.
let us know. 'cause
Is it
we're
possible
really interested.
to balance, quote, work, unquote, life, and what, parenthood, family, personal life, I guess.
Yeah, I guess how do you as stay-at-home parents balance your personal life to your commitments of running and managing your family?
Yeah, really.
So,
I'm not
your
even joking.
self-care,
I would love,
say.
I would love to hear that. Because I think that's part of the reason that I loathed being a stay-at-home parent, is that I couldn't balance anything.
Yeah.
My mind was just going crazy.
I think that's, basically why I like to work, because it makes me accountable for something.
Yeah.
And I don't have the self-discipline to be accountable to myself. But I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that in future episodes. But still, I like work.
Yeah, I like work too. Work's cool.
Anyways,
Yeah.
tell us what you guys feel.
Yes, please.
Make sure and subscribe to our podcast. Also, make sure like us on Facebook at Mom's Wine Out with 2 T's, so that way you can leave us a comment on this week's episode. We really want to hear your feedback and know what you guys think about the work-parent-family life balance. And I think
Sure.
that's it for me. What about you, Lex?
I'm good.
All right. Well, cheers, my friends.
Cheers. Till next week.
Till next week.
How long were we in here without any interruptions? And then cat car.
Ooh, cat car.
Okay,
PJ Masks. PJ
Yes.
Masks. PJ Masks. PJ Masks.
You're not helping.
It's nighttime. It's the right time to fight crime.
Mama,
I can't think of
Mama, not looking, Mama.
It's not working?
No.
Okay, take it to Daddy and close the door, please. Thank you. I love you.
He's so stinking cute.
Right.